Chapter 1 of Legacy by James H. Schmitz. This is a LibriVox recording. All LibriVox recordings are in the public domain. For more information or to volunteer, please visit LibriVox.org. Legacy. Chapter 1. It was the time of sunrise in Sacy, the White City, placidly beautiful capital of Macadon, the university world of the hub. In the Colonial School's sprawling 5-mile complex of buildings and tropical parks, the second student shift was headed for breakfast, while a larger part of the fourth shift moved at a more leisurely rate toward their bunks. The school's organized activities were not much affected by the hour, but the big exercise quadrangle was almost deserted for once. Behind the railing of the firing range, a young woman stood by herself, gun in hand, waiting for the automatic range monitor to select a new string of targets for release. She was around 24, slim and trim in the school's comfortable hiking outfit. Tan shirt and knee-length shorts, knee stockings, soft-soled shoes. Her sun hat hung on the railing, and the dawn wind whipped strands of shoulder-length, modishly white-silver hair along her cheeks. She held a small, beautifully worked handgun loosely beside her, the twin-barreled sporting Denton which gun-wise citizens of the hub rated as a weapon for the precisionist and expert only. In institutions like the Colonial School it wasn't often seen. At the exact instant the monitor released its new flight of targets, she became aware of the air car gliding down toward her from the administration buildings on the right. Startled, she glanced sideways long enough to identify the car's two occupants, shifted her attention back to the cluster of targets speeding toward her, studied the flight pattern for another unhurried half-second, finally raised the Denton. The little gun spat its noiseless, invisible needle of destruction 8 times. 6 small puffs of crimson smoke hung in the air. The 2 remaining targets swerved up in a mocking curve and shot back to their discharge huts. The girl bit her lip in moderate annoyance, safetied and holstered the gun, and waved her hand left-right at the range attendant to indicate she was finished. Then she turned to face the air car as it settled slowly to the ground 20 feet away. Her gray eyes studied its occupants critically. "Fine example you set the students," she remarked. "Flying right into a hot gun range." Dr. Plemponi, principal of the Colonial School, smiled soothingly. 8 years ago your father bawled me out for the very same thing, Trigger. Much more abusively, I must say. You know, that was my first meeting with old Runcer Argee, and I— Plemp. Mehul, chief of physical conditioning, women's division, cautioned sharply from the seat behind him. "Watch what you're doing, you ass." Confused, Dr. Plemponi turned to look at her. The air car dropped the last 4 feet to a jolting landing. Mehul groaned. Plemponi apologized. Trigger walked over to them. "Does he do that often?" she asked interestedly. "Every other time," Mehul asserted. She was a tall, lean, muscular slab of a woman, around 40. She gave Trigger a wink behind Plemponi's back. "We keep the chiropractors on standby duty when we go riding with Plemp." Now then, Dr. Plemponi said. "You distracted my attention for a moment, that's all. Now, Trigger, the reason we're here is that Mehul told me at our pre-breakfast conference you weren't entirely happy at the good old Colonial School. So climb in, if you don't have much else to do, and we'll run up to the office and discuss it." He opened the door for her. "Much else to do?" Trigger gave him a look. "All right, Doctor, we'll run up and discuss it." She went back for her sun hat, climbed in, closed the door, and sat down beside him, shoving the holstered Denton forward on her thigh. Plemponi eyed the gun dubiously. "Brushing up in case there's another grabber raid?" he inquired. He reached out for the guide stick. Trigger shook her head. "Just working off hostility, I guess." She waited till he had lifted the car off the ground in a reckless swoop. "That business yet?"
Sample complete. Ready to continue?